Oh my word, what have we witnessed? As if yesterday was not enough, our hearts have been racing with what happened yesterday on a Sunday. It's been a maniac Monday again. Somehow, Bangladesh have managed to pull off a Pakistan. We're back at Cricbuzz Live. I've got Simon and Joyda. Lots to talk about. This has gone down to the wire. And the wire is also because of that decision which I'd like to talk about, because South Africa have won by 4 runs. And there were 4 crucial runs given when he was given out. LBW, the ball went, and it should have been 4 runs, but he was given out. So that controversial decision.
I think it was Towhid Hridoy batting. Tom Nugatsky was the umpire. And the ball hits him, and he goes up immediately. The ball ran to the boundary. The point is, the moment the umpire gives a decision, according to the ICC laws, the ball is dead.
Yes.
So after that, even if the decision was overturned, the ball is dead, and they got 0 runs for that. Had they got 4 runs, this match would have been a tie. In fact, I'll go slightly further than that. Had they got 4 runs of that, the match would not have been a tie because they would have had less in the last few overs.
Yes.
They probably would have had to take less risks, and therefore they could have won this match. So all in all, I mean, if you're a Bangladesh supporter, you will feel really hard done by. I mean, there was one other decision. You look at it, Towhid Hridoy, the ball, the decision of the LBW that he got him. You know, the angle of the ball, it was barely just touching the top of leg stump, you know. And that was an umpire's call. If that could have gone anywhere as well. So they'll look at it and say, I mean, that's something that's a mistake. It can happen. But the first one, they just feel that had he not put up his hand so fast, it would have been, they were hard done by. So yeah, it's disappointing. It's none of these are deliberate. These things happen in the game. But if you're supporting the other team, you'd feel bad about it.
Simon, the ICC really listens to you, and it's heartbreaking for Bangladeshi fans because it's come down to those 4 runs.
Yeah, and just imagine this happens in a final. And let's say India are on the wrong end of that in a final. I mean, you just, and I know it's a hard one to do throughout the game, but there's got to be something change in the way this system works, because that was a howler. It was an absolute howler. It was a poor decision. It was never hitting the stumps. And he's just thrown his finger up so quickly like a gunslinger. And it was a poor decision. And we have to say, they've made some great decisions. There's been some very good umpiring throughout the tournament, but that one wasn't. And the result is it should have been 4-leg byes.
Yes.
But it doesn't happen. Now, let's say that happens on the final ball of the T20 World Cup. And you know, one team loses on a really poor decision. There's got to be some way of going about changing the way this happens, because it's happening more often than not. And every time I have this, bring this question up at pre-tournament or pre an ICC event, they're like, well, we can't do anything about it. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to be significant in the course of a game. Well, it is significant.
Yes.
And it will be significant in the course of a game. So I don't know how they change it. I don't know. I haven't got the complete answers to it, but something has to be done about it, because it is now costing games, and we can't have it.
It's heartbreaking for the fans, Joyda, because you're so invested in it, obviously for the players who are playing as well. But do you think that Bangladesh left it for too far ahead? They should have gotten, considering the position they were in, they should have gotten this game earlier.
They were going at a good pace. I thought Mahmudullah and Hridoy had it under control. Once Hridoy went, I think that's where they broke down absolutely, because I think he was the person who was dominating the stroke play. Even then they got their chances, because remember, South Africa is playing this, they're bowling with just 5 bowlers.
Yes.
So that meant that the way they shuffled their bowlers, it's not ideal to have a spinner finish at the end. You know, he bowled the last over, you had Keshav Maharaj. But he eventually ended up giving just 7 runs, and that changed the game for them. But that's the point, that they had South Africa where they wanted them. There were lots of opportunities. The ball that Mahmudullah hit straight down the throat of Aiden Markram. 5 times out of 6, that would have gone for 6. You know, it was a juicy full toss right at the right spot. You know, Markram also held his nerve and took off a good catch. But I mean, that ball normally sails 5 feet above the bowler, above the field and the boundary. So lots of things. They'll look at this match, and that's the thing. When a close match finishes, there are lots of little moments you look at that and you'll wonder. If South Africa had lost very close match, they would have looked twice. They've had really stupid overthrows. You know, at least 3-4 runs they've given away to overthrows. They'd look at that and say, you know, why did we allow that to happen? That's sloppy fielding, that we were not thinking. So these little slip magnify when your match is so close, but it was a great, great match of cricket.
But But Simon, when we spoke in the pre-match show, when we see that 11 for South Africa on paper, it looks like an unbeatable side. They've got everything going for them. The aggressive bowling, that middle order we spoke about, maybe up top, Quinton de Kock and his form hasn't been great. But when they come out onto the field, it was Netherlands, and now they've won by the skin of their teeth. So this is not that dominant South Africa that we see on paper.
No, they haven't been dominant as yet. Wait till they get on some better surfaces and their batters can have more of an effect on the game. Wonder then whether the bowlers will have as much effect. They've got a crack bowling unit. It's Bartman's been really good.
Yes.
They've left him in the side, not playing Coetzee. Rabada with wickets today. Nortje with his genuine pace again has been superb. They almost succumbed to the pressure. The last two deliveries were awful. Be honest about it. They were poor deliveries. And you felt that the pressure was right on Maharaj. And he's fortunate to have got away with it. As you said, Doull would have normally hit that ball out of the park and game would have been done. So, Maharaj felt the pressure and he delivered two very average deliveries to finish off. But you need those little things to go your way. And at times, South Africa haven't. They haven't had those little things go their way. And they've succumbed to that pressure. And, this might be a small indication that they can get through these games, get through these tight games, that they are starting to improve. And I just think they will be a far better side from a batting point of view when they get on better pitches. So the bowlers have had to do the job for them early in the tournament. Maybe the batters might have to do more of a job for them later in the tournament.
But Joyda, overall, if we have a look at their bowling card, they've been impressive from the word go. We saw Nortje come in, again came in a little late to bowl, but pick of the bowlers there. He's got 2 wickets and gave away 17 runs in his 4. And of course, very well supported by Jansen and Rabada.
11 overs of dot balls. 66 dot balls bowled. That tells you something. That tells you the kind of domination they had. I thought they all bowled well, and I think it's an interesting tactic. Who's the last bowler who comes on? You think they're big weapon. Who's been taking wickets for them? It's Anrich Nortje.
Yes.
And Nortje's first over is the 8th over. So they're saying, okay,
Seems to be a pattern now.
Yeah. Let the other guys do the job out here. He's our guy who's going to come through the middle. Even if they're settled, he's fast enough to take wickets. And he comes in 8th, 10th, 12th, 16th.
Yes.
All the overs are significant. He's a difference maker in the match. And I think that's the interesting thing. That they've got now a pattern of how they're bowling. And Jansen's bowling up front for them, Rabada's bowling up front for them. This is what they're doing. Obviously, this one slipped a bit because normal circumstances, Maharaj is not bowling the 20th over for them. But I think it was such a close match that they had no option. But as we were again talking about, 19th over is a crucial over. Push the game into the 20th. Allow your bowler a little bit, give him enough. And then anything can happen.
But Simon, talking about Nortje, like Joyda said, he came in into the 8th over, he came to bowl. 3rd game now on the trot that he's doing this. You know how much a back injury can impact a bowler. Coming out of that and then not the greatest of IPLs, but the rhythm that he's found here, the conditions suiting him, all looking good for Nortje.
Yeah, it is. And, it's a really tough injury to come away from. He looked like he was still just getting back to his work throughout the recent tournament in India and just getting the loads up, getting used to bowling again. The one thing you have to do after a serious injury, whether it be, and for bowlers, generally you're talking knees and backs, and coming out of a serious knee or back injury, it's about trusting your body and trusting that you can run in as hard as you can and do what you used to do without it hurting, without it breaking, without something going wrong. And it takes a long time to get that trust back in yourself so that you actually walk out of the park not worrying about it anymore and not thinking about it anymore. And I think that was one of the things that I saw through the IPL was he was probably just a little bit tentative, not trusting himself, not trusting his body, not putting every ounce of effort in because he was worried. And now he's obviously had a little bit of time post that, a lot more training, a lot more hard work. And he seems like he feels very comfortable in his body again and able to bowl those rockets up around 150 and enforce. I think that's the key. Every team through the middle overs, you've got an enforcer if you've got someone bowling at that 150k mark, and he's certainly doing a brilliant job for them. I like the fact he doesn't get anywhere near that newish ball because they don't need him to, and he's not that type of bowler. He prefers a ball that's a little bit older, a little bit, you can get a good grip on it and just let it go. And he's been really good for them in the early parts of the tournament.
But Joyda, these conditions really helping the South African bowlers because they like that spongy bounce which they're getting, which is troubling the batters.
No, absolutely. And bowler like him especially, I mean, his first 2 wickets were both completely on the bounce. I mean, just the fact that Shakib and all just could not take on him at that pace. They tried to, moment you try to hit him, he's just a little bit faster and a little bit bouncier than you get. And so they were all top edging his shots. Now, that's it. These pitches are ideal for him in one other sense. They're not so flat that they can just run down the pitch and go after him, though running down at a 150 bowler is never easy in the best of times. But even then, they don't have that opportunity and they're not sure of the bounce. So they're hanging a bit back. And if you hang a bit back to somebody of his pace, he's going to pin you down and then you take stupid risks and have to get out.
But Simon, you know, back-to-back wins for South Africa. Not the most clinical wins, but, you know, it speaks a lot about, a lot has been spoken about how the word choke should not be used for them, but how they don't like playing under pressure. But clearly these wins under this pressure is going to give them immense confidence.
Yeah, it will. And the nature of the wins, we saw the wickets that they lost early in the tournament as well, 12 for 4 against the Netherlands. They were in trouble again, 4 down for 23 today. And David Miller has been there twice for them as part of the saviour. Today it was alongside Klaasen. You've got to fight your way out of these tough situations and find a way to post a score. That was what we talked about. We weren't sure whether it was a bit below par. Probably in hindsight, 15. You know, it's probably a 125 to 130 type surface, and that would have been more than competitive. Probably way too good for Bangladesh in the end. But you know, the way they just fought back enough to get to a total that they possibly could have defended. These are the games when you win them, they give you so much confidence because it's not a score they would have walked in thinking, okay, we've got this in the bag. At 135, 140, they probably would have thought that. But at 111, you're thinking, you know, it's really tight. We're going to have everything go our way. And they weren't polished in the field. They still haven't had a great fielding performance. There was a little bit of untidiness in and around the fielding. But when you're still winning, you've got to take those things from your wins and improve on those. But the fact is you're still getting over the line, even though you're not quite at 100%. And that does any team the world of good.
Joyda, for Bangladesh, you know, we wanted to say that Hridoy wins hearts. He went so close. He went so close to the Bangladeshi fans. Wasn't meant to be 37 of 34. And Mohammedullah was supporting him well with that 20 of 27. But otherwise, when you glance at that batting card, not impressive at all. Like you said, some of them were beaten for pace, but some fall shots as well.
Absolutely. I think Towhid Hridoy has been by far their best batter. You know, 40 in the last match, batted beautifully, set them up, couldn't finish, but really set them up. Today also, he looked the one batter, you know, when he was hitting cover drives, you know, he looked the complete part, you know. And I think that's what he did. He paced his innings beautifully. Had he hung around, they would have crossed the line. I mean, just again got a very, very marginal LBW decision that, you know, he can look at and be a bit disappointed by. But that's it. I mean, the point of it is he took them close enough, but he and Mahmudullah clearly are doing something for them. But now their top order has to come to the party, and none of them are looking the part. They're all, you know, Litton, all very talented batsmen. Shanto, Litton, you know, somebody of the experience of Shakib Al Hasan. They need to get more from their top 4. They're just not getting anything at this point in time. At this point in time, 5, 6, 7 are giving them whatever they're getting. So they look at this match and they look at it. You know, the sad part of it is, under normal circumstances, South Africa, Bangladesh, South Africa would be favourites.
Yes.
But they look at it and say, we had our chances. We had our chances. This was the opportunity to put it across, you know. We were so close. And I think that's what they'll regret more than anything else. Losing to South Africa is not a big deal.
Yes.
But losing to South Africa when you were that close to winning, is the point.
You know, Simon, we spoke about this in the pre-match show as well. Joyda said that the top order is not giving them anything, but also those big power hitter finishers that Bangladesh need are missing, and we saw that today.
Yeah, we did. And look, they just, the middle order looks okay. And when you got a guy like Mahmudullah coming back into the side, experience, you know, he knows how to win games, that's all good. Shakib's the guy for me. Shakib's the guy that needs to really step up. If they are to compete at the top level, big tournaments, you know, he had a brilliant 19 World Cup with the bat. He's had moments, but in these big tournaments in T20 cricket, he's the guy for me that really needs to start stepping up for them. You know, he could have paced that innings, high quality left-hander, took on a shot that probably was high risk, and low reward as far as this surface is concerned. If he's trying to hit that ball over third or over a backward point, I get it, but it's a long way outside off trying to take on a 150k bowler. It's just not good enough from my point of view. Yes, they need more out of Lithan Das. Yes, they need more out of that top order. But Shakib's always sort of been that guy that Bangladesh have looked to. And in big moments and crucial games, he's the one for me that needs to step up a little bit more. And he's not bowling much either.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He bowled 1 over today. And I think that's the thing. He bowled just 1 over today. Didn't look his normal, very economical self. He's a very difficult bowler, wily bowler. But I think the reason Simon's also saying it is that if these were 200 pitches and 180, 200, 220 pitches, you'd say that, okay, other batsmen are important.
Correct.
And Shakib is not the guy who has that kind of strike rate.
Yes.
These are Shakib kind of pitches. And I think that's it by the disappointment.
Yeah.
So you have that game. This is your game. You are experienced in these kind of conditions. You're the most experienced. You and Mahmudullah are the two veterans of the team. He should have done better for them.
But Joyda, it's so unfair now when we talk about these numbers and facts and figures 2 years later in the World Cup, when we talk about head-to-head, it's going to be 9-0 South Africa when Bangladesh was so close. So let's have a look at the points table, because finally the 2 points have been picked up by South Africa and now they're running away there at the points table with 6 points. Bangladesh would have really wanted these 2 points, but they still stand there at the second position. So this still is something that Sri Lanka, Bangladesh pretty much expected after this game.
Yeah. See, that's what, under normal circumstances, the big thing is Bangladesh has beaten Sri Lanka. So what has to happen is if they can hold their nerve and, beat the Netherlands, Nepal they should be able to beat, then they go on to 6 as well. One assumes that South Africa, cleans up the group and finishes on 8 points. Then they come in second place, because where now you have a situation where Sri Lanka is now they can only reach 4. And I think Nepal, I don't think they're a good team. They have at the associate level, but I don't think this is their level of play.
Simon, now taking out from today's game, you said South Africa will take the confidence, but Bangladesh, will they take the confidence, or will they feel that this is something they should have gotten in the bag?
They feel very good about their bowling performance, I think, and they should. The seamers have been superb. Right from the start, I thought they bowled really, really well. They didn't allow Klaasen and Miller to get away too much on them. And that meant that if they bowled well at the back end, which they did, they could restrict South Africa to a very low total. So no fault on the bowling point of view whatsoever. I thought it was a superb performance. They won't take a lot of heart from their batting performance, apart from those two we've already mentioned, Hridoy and Mahmudullah. So, moving forward, there needs to be something from that top order. That's what they're desperately in need of in their last couple of games. So, they won't take confidence with the bat. They will take a lot of confidence and should take a lot of confidence from the bowling performance.
All right, a team which probably is not riding very high on confidence is Pakistan. And after what has happened to them against India and, of course, their game against USA as well, they take on Canada tomorrow. And this is happening in New York again. The New York pitch, like I said, is filled with mysteries. This is match number 22. Pakistan, Joyda, we are still not over what happened yesterday, so I don't know how Pakistan's going to be over what happened so quickly to turn around after a game that they should have won.
Actually, I think it's better for them because if you have a game that quick, you don't have time to think. It's happened, okay, fine, get there, okay, next day you rest. Next day, okay, if you're playing again, already you're thinking of the next match. Long gaps in these tournaments actually, especially when you lose close ones, they sort of hang on your head worse. So I think it's not a bad thing for Pakistan to quickly go play another match and try and get a win under their belt. And I think that's how they look at it.
But Simon, a must win for Pakistan because tomorrow, if they lose to Canada, that's the end of their campaign.
Yeah, must win. And Canada were feeling pretty good about their form and about where they're at in the tournament, what they've been able to do so far. And Pakistan, jeepers. I agree with Joy in the fact that it's probably a good thing to bounce back, but we read some comments and you hear some television shows from back home in Pakistan. They want everybody gone. They want the team dropped. They're talking about the fact that Pakistan players think that if they don't perform, the coach will get dropped. It's about time the coach stayed and all the players got dropped. I mean, these are the things I'm reading out of Pakistan. They want Baba gone. They want all these changes. So, I hope they're not reading too much of their news media from back home, because they wouldn't be filled with confidence going into tomorrow. But they can quickly turn it around, and we know what Pakistan are like. They're so, they can be so up and down. They could pull out a performance that just blows Canada away, and that's one of the things that they'll be certainly hoping to do tomorrow.
We'll have a look at Pakistan squad, Joyda. Any changes you think they will get in? Because Saiyam Ayub is someone that everyone is saying should come in. Do you see him coming in tomorrow?
No, I think now they've fixed upon this, and the way that they're lining up, this works for them, because Shadab did not bowl too much in the last match, but having both Shadab and Imad gives you a lot of variety, because you have two bowlers who can bowl you in some conditions 8 overs for you, who can bat as well. And I think it's important for their balance to have it, because their top order has not been doing all that well. I think, as I said, again, large parts of the match against India, they dominated. So they'll look at it and they'll say, you know what, we were this close to a win. We were 6 runs away from beating one of the most powerful sides in the world. So they should just look at it that way. But I think now tinkering with the side will not do that. I think they've set on it, saying that, okay, these are two spinner all-rounders. And it's funny, because India was almost playing very similar configuration, And I think they just have to go with it from here on. I don't see too many changes.
Simon, do you see them going with the same opening pair?
Yeah, the one thing they could do, I guess, if they want to get Saiyam Ayub into the side, is leave Usman out. He hasn't had huge amounts of success, not the same sort of success that he had in the PSL. He's a guy that decided to play for the UAE, and because he had so much success as an overseas player in the PSL, Pakistan wanted him back, so he relinquished his UAE sights and said, I don't want to play for you now because I've been asked to play for Pakistan now. I think Saiyam Ayub is such a talented young player. He's not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but that might be the only way that we get him into the side. And it would then move Baba back to 3.
Yes.
Which he might feel more comfortable with. And it just might give him a little bit more respite coming in at 3. But that's the only thing I could see them possibly doing. I'm with Joy on the fact I think Imad and Shadab, even though he didn't bowl much in the India game, Shadab, and he hasn't been at his best with the ball, I still think what he offers with the bat, accompanied with the ball, and he's probably still one of Pakistan's best fielders, that keeps him in the side.
Well, we'll have a look at Canada's squad now. They're coming in with good high amount of confidence after that last win that they had. Joyda, Nicholas Quinton looked very good, and of course their captain also looked very good. So
absolutely, I think this is a fantastic side. I love the way Jafar bowled. He's really, again, Kaleem Sana and Jafar will be bowling against the country of their birth. Kaleem Sana, in fact, has played against Babar Azam, at the junior level. So lots there to look forward to. But, I think Dhaliwal and Quinton are the key for them, the kind of players that can really change the game. And I think they have power. Somebody like a Helika has power. So they have somewhere a combination of a little bit of West Indian power and Pakistani craft and Indian craft. And it's a great mixture of all those things. And I think they're up. They against an Ireland would have been a really big win. Somebody like a Canada playing a World Cup for the first time, beating a test nation. Let's not forget Ireland is a test nation. So they'll be high on confidence, and they'll think if we get a couple of points out here, really we could
shake things up totally. Yeah.
Because remember one thing, whatever happens from here on, okay, Ireland can end on 4 points. Okay, at this point in time, Pakistan can end on 4, Ireland can end on 4.
Yes.
The other 3 can all end on 6 points or more. And I think that's the thing. Canada would be looking and saying that if we can make an upset, great. If we can't make an upset also, still we might get tied up with the US. Who knows what will happen at 4 points. Let's take our chances. But they're already riding high. For them, this tournament is already a success.
Simon, nothing really to lose for them when they're playing against last time's finalists. So when they go in with high on confidence, do you think someone has an advantage there?
Well, that's the thing. For Pakistan, it's about having to win, having to bounce back, having to put a good performance on the board. For Canada, it's just about enjoying the occasion. Loving the fact that they are part of a World T20, part of an ICC event again, coming off a great game, high on confidence, all of those things. They will go, or should go into the game a lot more relaxed. But all the pressure is on Pakistan. Yeah. You go into these games relaxed and just think that you've got an opportunity to upset one of, in some people's minds, one of the pre-tournament sort of top four favourites. It's a great opportunity for any side. So Canada should go in with a lot of freedom and a lot of confidence in the ability that they have. And the fact that they've beaten Ireland is a really good stepping stone for them. They can come in and think, we know how to win at this level. We can win at this level. Yes, it's Ireland. Now it's just another slightly darker shade of green. We'll be okay.
And considering Ireland has beaten Pakistan, that history that Canada would like to remember is we've beaten Ireland, Ireland has beaten Pakistan, so never know, that's what they're going to be thinking.
As they say, it's commutative here. A greater than B, B greater than C, A greater than C. Is it commutative or not? They'd like to think so, but yeah, Pakistan certainly would want to say that, okay, we've got a thing or two to say about that.
Well, Pakistan were the finalists, so we can't brush them away at all. But we don't know if you're going to have an upset or Pakistan, the finalists are going to show up at the stadium tomorrow. Your players to watch out for, Simon and Joyda.
For me, Navneet Dhaliwal up front. And I think he's a big player for them. And for Pakistan, I just think it's time for Babar Azam to play a big innings. It's about time.
Simon, for you?
Shaheen, for me, I haven't seen enough from him. I still don't think he's at his best. I still don't think he's bowling as well as he was 2-3 years ago. So he really needs to step up. He sets the tone with that new ball. He sets the tone from a bowling point of view. So Shaheen Shah Afridi. And on the other side, it's been a nice tournament for some of the elder statesmen. I think back to Frank Nsabuga from Uganda at 43 years of age. And when you come up against your country of birth, it's always something a little bit more passionate about you. So I'm going to go with Junaid Siddiqui, 39 years of age, coming up against his country of birth. I mean, what more could you want to do in a World Cup than put a performance on the board? So for me, Shaheen and Siddiqui.
All right, then, like we said, we don't know what we can expect from Pakistan tomorrow, or we're going to see another upset. Let's see if Joyda has managed to upset us again, because we never get his answers and then we get upset, but you all get the answers. This is question.
So which cricketer was player of the match in a T20 International 2010 but paid his next over 5 years later after being player of the match? Well, the reason was sad.
Actually, I thought I had a hint, but I don't know if I'm right. Because he was banned, is that the same player?
Absolutely.
Because of the 5-year Mohammad Amir is...
Absolutely, it is Mohammad Amir. Well done. Banned, and Shahid Afridi was the captain, of course, in both occasions. But, I'm just happy that Mohammad Amir has come back. He regretted what he did. He's back. He's playing international cricket. It's good to see.
All right.
He should be banned from bowling a super over.
That a lot of Pakistanis will agree with you on that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Pakistani fans are going to agree, Simon. But like I said, this is probably the second time in Cricbuzz live history that I had a hint about the answer, Joyda. But let's have a look at who got it right and who got it quickest.
Suryansh
Sethia.
I haven't seen the name, but well done, Suryansh. Good answer.
Well done, Suryansh. It feels nice to win Joyda's answers. I know how it feels like today for the first time. And also, it also feels very nice to win our prediction game. Lots of winners with our new rules. But we have one man who's the Bullseye Pro.
Yes!
Let's give it up for Simon Doull. Wow.
What right on the top.
And what is it about you and Bullseye, Simon? How do you do it?
I don't know. I wouldn't have got it today if it wasn't for you. So I have you to thank, Saiyami. Thank you so much for taking 26, because that was what I was thinking in my head. And with Joy on 33, I had to go somewhere in the middle, and it felt like 29 was a good number. So yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm back tomorrow though, so I'm going to have to keep that record up.
We keep that record up, but everyone has won today. So we are all very happy. At Cricbuzz Live, we've got 5 winners, 3 here and 2 in the Hindi studio. I think Parthiv's the only one who hasn't won. Yeah. But tomorrow again, we give it a chance. Joyda, you will be in the studio
I'll be in the studio.
And Simon, you will be giving it a shot again from somewhere far away.
And hopefully it's not raining.
Hopefully it's not raining.
Yeah, still in Trinidad. Thankfully, the sun, I can just see the savannah now, the wonderful savannah in the middle of Trinidad and Port of Spain. So I'm just looking out my window. I can now see it. The rain has stopped falling. We don't start here in Trinidad for another 2 days. So hopefully it disappears completely by then. But I will be back tomorrow on Cricbuzz and look forward to it.
Well, thank you so much, Simon, for joining us. Joyda, thank you so much for being here. We hope it doesn't rain in New York as well, because we know that the India-Pakistan got delayed with rain. So we hope it doesn't rain in Trinidad. It doesn't rain in New York. We don't mind the rain in Mumbai, Delhi, and other parts of India. And things cool down here. It's now time for us to go and get a nice sleep, rest, because yesterday a lot of India fans haven't slept well with the rush of excitement. I don't know if Simon and Joyda got sleeping, but today you all will sleep early and we'll have you all here fresh tomorrow. You all will be here as well tomorrow, I hope. We'll be here at 7:30. So do join us at 7:30. That's all for now. Good night and goodbye.